The aim of this hearing is to bring together members of the Parliament, stakeholders and experts to discuss the need for further convergence of national provisions on limitation periods for cross-border road traffic accidents. Representatives from European associations of personal injury lawyers, of insurance companies, road traffic victims and of the Commission will thus contribute to this discussion.
I clarify, first of all, maybe that I am an executive director of Parents of Road Victims Association, Parents d'Enfants Victimes de la Route, which is a Belgian national organization and a member organization of the European Federation of Road Traffic Victims, FEVR, where I'm a member of the board. Thank you pour me faciliter la.
So, to make it easier for me, I'll continue in French. The European Federation of Road Accident Victims, the FEVR, there's no English abbreviation yet. I would like to thank the Legal Affairs Committee for this invitation to attend the hearing on statute of limitation for claims after road accidents. And the idea of introducing the status of victim into all these discussions, and particularly discussing the matter of the statute of limitations. The FEVR has existed since 1991, has just celebrated last week, in fact, its Silver Jubilee, 25 years in existence. Federation is an umbrella organisation for some 25 national and regional associations. Sometimes countries have several organisations, and these organisations exist in 17 countries. Both the FEVR and its members have as their mission the support for road accident victims, the bereaved families who've lost a child or another loved one, and also those who've suffered injury. So emotional and psychological support, and also guidance and assistance in legal matters. Also education and awareness raising about road safety. So still very much part of our mission statement. The bereaved families and the members of these organisations have decided, in order to compensate in a positive and constructive to what is happening, what has happened to them by promoting education. FEVR participates actively in many international fora within different bodies such as the ETSC, that's the Transport Safety Council, the WTO, the UN Global Alliance and others. Federation was also the initiator back in 1993 of what became in 2005 by recognition the World Remembrance Day for Road Traffic Victims. So it is recognised by the United Nations, as I said. The Federation and its members approach public bodies and authorities and work on in their own countries towards a better post-crash approach, including adequate support for family and the injured, best possible medical care and legal aid in order to lessen as far as possible the impact of the accident and promote their rehabilitation in the broadest sense of the word. So my contribution today is not really a legal or technical one, but it's more of an appeal, a plea for empathy to be included in all discussions, in particular on the statute of limitations. the fact that this hearing has been organised is already an approach that this approach is beginning to gain ground. Just a few words about the payment of damages. This particular phase is for victims and their families a very painful life experience and all too often leads to what's called secondary victimization. That can happen at various moments. At the same time, the timing of this phase is indisputably delicate. The statute of limitations aspect arises at this stage. You shouldn't go too fast, but you shouldn't make your claim too late either. You have to choose your moment, and that's important for the inspectors as well, from the insurance companies. So the question is, when should they approach the family of somebody who's died? When should they start the claims process? So claiming damages immediately after an accident is not the first thing that people who've been directly or indirectly affected think of doing. It's just not the sort of thing that they feel like doing at a moment like that. The right moment is a specific task for the world of insurance, who play a major role in how well the compensation phase goes. The FEVR and its member organisations have concluded that statute of limitation is much less of a problem. Of course, it depends what country you're in, but it tends to be much less of a problem than the length of the negotiations and legal procedures themselves, because these procedures often lead to frustration, and this is where the secondary victimization comes in, and people feel frustrated and dissatisfied as well. Both the insurance companies, the file managers, the inspectors, and the legal world, lawyers, magistrates and medical experts, both bear indisputably great responsibility. And unfortunately, over the last 20 years, there hasn't been much progress, but we're still hopeful. But the legal world, the legal aspect of a road accident, is often the first contact between a family or a victim, the first time that they are confronted with law, with the court system, with criminal or civil proceedings. So now to say something about the extinguishing of a right, because this legal notion has been accepted by society, but in our system you have to inform the victims what it's about. They should take on board this idea of compensation for loss, because often, as it's the first time that they've been involved in a legal case, it's the time that this should be explained to them, and it means that immediately after an accident, the public authorities, the police primarily, must inform the victim and all entitled persons in a clear and easily understandable way, in, of course, the language of the victim, that there is the issue of statute of limitations and what the general period is. You can't explain everything in a leaflet or in a first interview, because things crop up later too, but you have to be able to give them an idea. So as far as the period involved with a statute of a limitation. It would be a good idea to harmonise this period, because it would allow us to avoid a whole series of problems, and it would be a clear service to our citizens. And it would be easy standardisation, would have no budgetary impact and would not be a problem, at least for the victims. A general harmonised statute of limitation which extinguishes the right to claim compensation must bear in mind that the consequences of a road accident may stretch over several years. But also, of course, problems can arise many years after an accident. Of course, physical injuries can be seen immediately, but mental or psychological or even brain injuries can be declared later on, can show up later on. It can't be immediately seen. So 5 or 6 years. I know that in France it's 10, which is quite long, but we need at least 6 years in order to cover any possible symptoms which may come to the surface a long time after an accident, so that society and the insurance companies have some degree of certainty. So the FEVR is very interested in the information from the world of insurance. We're very interested in what the world of academia and the European Commission might be able to tell us in the next few minutes. We will, of course, get back to our members about this discussion and tell them what was said. And as I said, we need harmonisation, and we need to bear in mind that a certain amount of time is necessary. That's the most important thing. We've got all kinds of different periods of limitation, and we think that 5 or 6 years could be feasible, could be an attainable result. Thank you.